All right. Let's try that again. Not far away from kickoff. Lions versus the Reds. Hopefully, everybody's figured it out that a new stream is up and running. So I didn't get a chance to put that wager on anyway, so we'll see. I'll be kicking myself if a first try scorer is indeed one of the wingers. But let's go to a match number 2. Lions versus the Reds. Maro Itoje is back. Referee blows his whistle and we're off and running. And it's the Reds who get us underway. Let's bring on this 4-leg multi. Let's bring it home. First half off and running. The Lions are set up inside their 22. And controlling it at the back. Gibson-Park fires it away with the box kick upfield. Finding touch. 10 short of halfway. Oh, dis, ahoy, mate. So, through all the kerfuffle, I didn't get a chance to get that wager on. Remember, it was $3.50 for any winger to score first try. I'll be absolutely kicking myself if that one doesn't get across. As knocked on from the back of the line out, Kalani Thomas. First mistake of the game, and it's a knock on by the Reds. But a penalty's been given as they were offside. Penalty to the Lions, who find touch now inside the Reds' territory, and they can launch an attack. Yeah, so as I said in the previous stream before it cut off, I don't see this one being as tightly contested for the opening sort of 40 minutes like the Force did. It's a much stronger Lions outfit, and they should just romp away with it in all honesty. Throw to the line out. Itoje's the decoy. They go all the way to the back, but it's been pilfered by the Reds. Although Itoje comes through and takes the ball. So the Reds are just not tidying up the line out ball. Gibson-Park has got Tom Curry running with him. Cut out pass into midfield. It's Bundyaki. Big Bad Bundy. One of my try scorers, of course. Kelleher drives forward. They're 5 out now, the Lions. Gibson-Park to Will Stewart. And it is early domination for the touring team. Jack Morgan tries to burrow under. Gibson-Park staying down the short side. Bundyaki, his second attempt. And we come back for an earlier infringement. Referee was playing advantage. Oh, no. Forward pass. The Reds will hold on and they'll get the scrum feed. Well defended there from the home side in the end. A few phases there, only 5 meters out. Thought they would have come away with points. First scrum of the game. Let's see how they go. Can the Reds hold up against this massive pack? Sets and collapses. First scrum, first reset. The 3.5 minutes gone, no score. But we have seen the Lions firing all the shots. They'll try this scrum again. 5 out from their own line, the Reds. So they do have the feed, but this will be a very defensive scrum. As it's a big shove from the Lions, and it starts to skew sideways. And they're called for driving that one around illegally. Penalty to the Reds. So that answers that question. The Red scrum has held firm initially, were it not for the illegal wheeling. A nice touch finder, but they're still inside their own half here, the Queensland Reds. Decent turnout. I mean, for a Wednesday night in Brisbane, I reckon that they'll be pretty satisfied with the turnout there, Rugby Australia. Throw to the line out. Almost stolen by the Lions, but it's there for the Reds again. So they're controlling the lineouts in terms of winning the ball back, but they've got to get better at securing it off the back. Even that one was a little bit scrappy, but they do have the ball. Importantly, crucially for the home side. Box kick here from Kalani Thomas. It's up to halfway and taken well at the back by Tommy Freeman. And then spills the ball, Freeman. Well, he did so well, and then he ended up doing so poorly. In a matter of seconds, that one all completely turned around. Poor Tommy Freeman. So a little bit scrappy here to start. I mean, we kind of expected that, though. In the first stream, before it cut off, we were talking about how it might take a good 20 minutes or so before the Lions start to gel, start to put some pressure on. Another scrum here for the Reds. Can they resist the urge for an illegal wheel? Robert M. Ahoy, mates. This game's at Suncorp Stadium. Quite a decent turnout as well, as the Red scrum once again holds its own. Paisami in midfield gets the wraparound with McLaughlin Phillips. And the Reds are into the Lions' half with the ball for the first time tonight. Uru over on that far side. Back into midfield now for Bryant. Decent phase play here from the Reds. Paisami dummies and goes straight through. Support up the middle. No more support, though, as they fall to ground. 22 out from the line. Lions scramble, and they survive. The Reds, though, 5 phases. And they're almost in the red zone. Phillips out the back against Paisami, causing damage. Jock Campbell gets a 2-on-1 for Canham, and he can't get the pass away, but they're still on the attack here, the Reds. 7 phases, 10 meters out from the line. Bryant takes it 1 out from the ruck. Here's Canham again. 10 from the line. Atoji's cleaned out. Bryle beats 1. Bryle still going. Inside the 5. Front foot ball here for the Reds. Ross tries to burrow under. The pick and go from Sarah Uru. Penalty advantage. And it looks like the Reds are coming for first points. Driving over and scoring is Jeff Tumunga Allen. And the Reds have scored first. Eight minutes gone, 5 points to nil. Talk about unexpected. Well, unexpected for me. The Reds fire the first shot, and Tumunga Allen gives the double guns in celebration. Leo Francis Royko, ahoy, mate. You see the Reds winning by 5 points. Lots of love for the Reds in the chat room tonight. Do not go Swift bet. They suck. They had nothing for this game. I'll keep an eye out for that, as the conversion successful from right in front by McLaughlin Phillips. And the Reds lead 7-0. Unbelievable. Yeah, I'll tell you, my bookmaker, my go-to bookmaker for rugby union, Ned's, because they actually allow you to do same game multis. A lot of the other bookies here in Australia, for whatever reason, don't seem to have SGMs when it comes to the rugby union. As the Lions claim the restart, they immediately shift into midfield. John Bryant sets it up inside the red zone. Itoji goes out the back for Freeman. Cut out pass. Chesham has to reach behind for it. Penalty advantage now for the Lions, though. Back into midfield, and a nice offload from Porter to Itoji. 10 out from the line. Russell goes out the back for Daly, and loose ball has been lost. They'll come back for the penalty, though. So just a little scrappy from the Lions. But, of course, the thing to remember is for a lot of these guys, this is their first hit out, isn't it? Some of the players, they played in the previous game against the Western Force, but for a lot of them, this is their first hit out. And no surprise that it was a couple of those players involved in the loose passing and the knock-on, as no thought of taking the 3 here. Well, why would you? Because it's 2 a match. At the end of the day, results don't really matter. Points differential certainly doesn't matter. They put it into the corner, do the Lions. 5 out. And look for Ronan Kelleher here. Look for the rolling maul, perhaps. As it goes to Itoji, the sure thing at the front. And the rolling maul is well set. The Reds under the pump big time here. Now the backs come into play as it stalls. Bundyarki's got it. Bundyarki, my boy, he's got it at the back. It's still there. Aki's across the line. Can't get it to ground. Held up. Bundyarki was almost there for our first tick off the multi. That's how close it can be sometimes. Oh, that's devastating. So close. Yet so far. I tell you what, though, when I had Bundyarki in my anytime try scorer multi, from the back of a rolling maul is not how I envisioned it. Goal line restart here for the Reds. They send it deep. Finn Russell takes it on halfway. Who's he got there running with him? Bumping off one is Big Jack Conan. Odd pop it, ahoy, mate. Aki with the short ball, and it's been spilt by the Lions. Scrum down for the Reds again. And boy, you can tell that a lot of these guys, it's their first hit out of the tour. Errors out the wazoo from the Lions. But of course, lots of fresh faces in the team from what we saw the other night against the Force. How are we doing, Odd Poppet? Twelve and a half minutes gone. 7-0 to the Reds. One, two, three, four, 5 bottles of water there in the Lions coach's box. If they keep playing like this, that won't be water by the end of the night. We get a wide shot here of the stadium. Like I said, decent turnout for a Wednesday night. Here in Brisbane. Like I keep saying, rugby union, it might not be the number 1 code here in Australia, but it's still doing very, very well. Scrum down. Big shove again from the Lions. Reds, though, release it. Short ball from Phillips to Fluke. And the turnover's good. Jack Morgan does well. Lions back in possession. Through the hands now, Finn Russell. Cut out pass to the left. Van der Merwe. Can't get on the outside. Gibson-Park back for Russell. And again, bumping off one, a strong run. Reds told to release. Russell brings it back to the right side. Short ball. Puts Morgan into half a gap with big leg drive. He's well inside the 22. And the ball's ripped away cleanly by the Reds. And it's Josh Canham who decides he's going to clear the big lock. And he sends it into touch, 10 short of halfway. That might still not be enough. He might lose his kicking duties. Seven points to nil. The Reds. Can you believe it? Making a mockery out of my predictions. Lions throw to the front again. Mr. Reliable, Maro Itoje. Gibson-Park to Aki. Wrap around from Russell, creates space. Vandermerwe gets a 2-on-1 for Tommy Freeman. Breaking away down that right flank. The Reds pile in, try to get the turnover. The Lions are just going edge to edge at the moment, sideline to sideline. We talk about it all the time. You've got to earn the right to go wide. As up in the line now is Elliot Daly. Flick pass back in field, goes to ground. And it's going to be a Queensland Reds scrum. Just lacking the execution. Once again, as I say, as you would expect from a team playing their first game together, essentially. Mookie, ahoy mate. But it is just sideline to sideline for the Lions at the moment. They've got to spend a little bit more time, in my opinion. A little bit more time just building. Build the pressure. Controlling the territory. But it is the Reds controlling the scoreboard. 16 and a half minutes in. Don't know for how much longer they can hold on, though, the Reds. At some point, you would expect the Lions, they'll click into gear to some capacity. The scrum 5 meters out from their own line. The Reds over on that far touchline. And they get another scrum penalty. Pulling down on that far side. So this Lions scrum is just not working out at the moment. Front row collapsing. Phillips sends it into touch. They're outside of their red zone, but still inside their own half. They do, of course, have the line out throw, and geez. I don't know how they decided who collapsed that scrum, but that's the call they've come up with. Reds with the line out throw, uncontested to the middle, and they release it back immediately. But Thomas to go on a dart. He dummied the kick. Still going, Thomas. Gets the offload back. No, he decides to hold on and go to ground. Ball's ripped away from Itoje. Maro Itoje. What a steal. And a penalty now to the Lions as the Reds go illegally in over the top. I'll put this into the corner as well, but Maro Itoje, the difference maker. Steals balls at will, it feels like. The Lions put it into touch, 5 out. They'll try again. Will they bring the backs into play again? Does that bring our boy Bundyaki into play? Itoje claims the lineouts. The rolling maul is indeed set. The backs are staying out of it this time. It collapses illegally. Penalty advantage. Aki's got it in midfield. Out the back for Finn Russell. For Daly. Daly sends it on to Tommy Freeman. Simple draw and pass through the hands under penalty advantage. The Lions get their first try. We get our first tick off the multi. 7-5 kick to come. And eventually all that possession of territory was telling. 58%. The Lions have been down this end of the field. And they've finally broken them out wide on this right sideline. Tickety-tick. Tommy Freeman. I wonder if Itoji's going to play the full 80. That's the other thing that I didn't really consider. Could be the leg that lets me down. Finn Russell lining up this conversion. Puts it on target. Wobbly old kick. Certainly not one of his best, but it's done enough to get through. And we're all locked up at 7 apiece. 20 minutes gone. 7-all. With the restart, Jock Campbell sends it inside the Lions 22. And a simple take at the back there. But the Reds defense comes through. Raven 187. This is how the game started versus the Force. Yes, indeed. It's a pretty new look Lions team. Stronger Lions team, in my opinion. But that, of course, does not mean it's not going to take some time for them to gel together. That's certainly proving to be the case as Gibson-Park with the box kick. It's straight off the side of the boot. It's made absolutely 0 meters. Gibson-Park kicks it sideways straight into touch. Reds will have the line out about 15 out. Over on the far touchline, the right side touchline. They can go straight back on the attack. Uncontested at the middle of the lineup. They release it immediately. Paisami in midfield. Told to you release now. The Lions have to roll out of the way as well. Ryle. Back towards the post. One out from the ruck. Here is Salakai Lotto. Oh, cheeky little knock on there. I think they got away with the Reds. Thomas might have had a little touch. Play on, though. Just to the left of the post. 10 meters out. Uru. Now directly in front. Lions were up quickly there. Were they onside? No call of offside, so they must have been. Paisami again goes out the back for McLaughlin Phillips. And I tell you what, every time Paisami touches the ball, it feels like the Reds are going to threaten the line. Looking very damaging. Now he gets it again. Crossfield kick. Well, that's a dead set shocker. Vandermeer makes a complete mess of it, though, and it sits up in the end goal. Has to run back and retrieve it. Pop pass for Gibson-Park. Oh, that was almost a catastrophe for the Lions. Gibson-Park's now been lifted powerbomb style. They bring him back to ground safely. But Vandermeer, that was nearly a nightmare for the Lions as he made a mess of it. He's done extremely well to recover. It was a terrible kick from Paisami. Vandermeer, rather than trying to catch it, he just stuck a hand out, knocked it backwards into the in goal, and from there it was nearly disaster. Setting up just outside the 22. Gibson-Park. Told to use it. Gets a better purchase this time on the box kick. It's up to halfway. Taken by Phillips. Heads back down the short side. Oh, and he's lined up by Itoji. The Reds will reset here on the halfway. Ross down the short side. And the ball's ripped away illegally there. Hands in on the ground. And that's a penalty to the Reds. 24 minutes gone. 7 apiece. Finding touch now and back inside the red zone. And making a good showing of themselves so far here, the Queensland Reds. Faessler with the line-out throw. The Reds back on the attack. Goes to the middle, and it's well claimed. No rolling maul here. They send it straight out to Paisami, and why not? Been threatening with every single run. Trial now in front of the post, 10 meters out. The Reds looking for their second try. Dalakai Loto charges into the defensive line. Now numbers down the short side, but Thomas decides to kick. It bounces nicely for Josh Fluke. And a very fitting last name for that try, because that was more asked than class. A lucky bounce, a fluky bounce, I've been resisting the urge to say. And Josh Fluke scoops it up and dives over the line. The kick was not the option. They had numbers down the short side. I thought Thomas had screwed this up by kicking. Fluke gets an awkward but kind bounce that sits up on his knees. And he's able to pin the ball to his body. Well, either way, fluke or no fluke, the Reds have scored their second try, the third try of the match, and Phillips hooks this conversion left. Horrible. From just to the right of the post. Pushes it completely across the face. But 26 and a half minutes in, and they lead 12 points to 7. Ollie is the best. Ahoy, mate. Jonathan is shouting me a party. I can't wait. Going to be fun as the Lions. Then the restart inside the 22. The Reds let it bounce. And Seru Uru collects it. Well, actually, it's been knocked on. Played up by the Lions. Scrum advantage here for the Reds. Head out from their own line. Itoji. More big contact. Oh, he's a beast. Box kick from Thomas. That'll be scrum advantage over as they find touch just outside the 22. "27 and a half minutes gone. The Reds, the home side, 12-7. Now, I was talking about the crowd. Decent crowd for a Wednesday night here in Brisbane. Very decent. Now, obviously, a lot of them would be the touring British and Irish Lions supporters. As Kelleher throws to Itoji. Taps it down for Gibson-Park, and now Archie in midfield. The wraparound with Finn Russell. Numbers out to the left. Here's Van der Merwe. 5 meters out from the line. Well tackled. A try saver at the back there. I can only assume it was Jock Campbell. Through the forwards now. They'll have a crack, the Lions. 5 out from the line. Russell. The double pump goes to Freeman. Freeman, you've already got one, mate. Reaches out for the line. And he is just short. They're going to have a look here. Now, Tommy Freeman may have got this up against the pad. If he's got this against the base of the pad, then it's obviously a try. Let's have a look. He's been caught high there as well. High contact. They'll possibly come back for that. His elbow is always up. He's entitled to reach out. And he needed to be over. If he was over 2 centimeters further, that would have been up against the base of the pad for a try. Instead, he's tried to reach out and plant it over the try line. This will be no try. Short of the line. I suspect that the TMO, Glenn Newman, will suggest that high contact be called, and the Lions might get a penalty. And that's exactly what's taken place. Penalty to the Lions for high contact. And off they can go again. Jared Hanlon, ahoy mates, up the Reds from West Auckland. Well, it is certainly not very often that there's support for the Reds from in New Zealand. They tap and go, and it's Roden Kelleher who tries to dig his way under. Porter now with the pick and go. He's over the line and scoring an easy try. Well, it only took 2 phases. 5 meters out, right in front of the post. They tap and go from the penalty. Kelleher goes close. Porter with the pick and go. And it's all locked up at 12 apiece. Kick from right in front. Simple conversion. Finn Russell shouldn't make a meal of this. Over it goes, and 29.5 minutes into this game, the Lions have their first lead of the match. Now, I dare say, don't know how bold a prediction it is, but I don't think they surrender the lead from here on in. E.B. Williams, ahoy mate, good game so far. As the Reds get us back underway, Gibson-Park doesn't even want the ruck set up. He just clears it immediately up towards the halfway line. So we talk about it every stream, don't we? The championship minutes. This is only a tour match, but there is absolutely no way. Some of these players especially, some of the big guns are out there for the Lions in this match as the Reds throw to the back. Canham taps it down immediately, and the Reds set it up in midfield. Right on halfway, Thomas. Inside ball for Uru. Uru into Lions territory. Thomas trying to find some space around the ruck, but nowhere to go. Uru with the pick and go. Still there for the Reds. E.B. Williams says quite a few Irishmen in the Lions team. Paisami down this near side. Jared Hanlon says hopefully the Lions drop the ball this game. As Thomas with the box kick. Contestable ball, and it's been lost by the Lions. Knock-on advantage to the Reds. Inside the 22 they go. Uru with the pick and go. Offloads for Thomas. Heads back in field. And Aiden Ross sets this one up just to the left of the post. Inside the 22. Ryle lays it back. The Lions defense chasing up, pushing up hard. And the Reds are back out of the 22. Still there for them, though. 8 minutes to go until the halftime break. Through the hands out to the right. Paisami to Phillips. Phillips is wrapped up by Russell. And the Lions now pour in. The Reds have been forced all the way back now. About 35 out from the line. Big defense from the Lions. Forcing them backwards with every hit. Staying on the short side. And again, John Bryant loses some more meters. Quick ruck ball. And Thomas says, enough of this. The box kick. It's too deep. And Elliot Daly will claim the mark 10 meters out from his own line. And the Lions can perhaps relieve some of the pressure. It's a little too heavy there, that box kick from Thomas. No touch found. And the Reds can counterattack. Oh, slipping into contact there. Tim Ryan. Getting a bit crowded in amongst the ruck. Thomas has got it to the back, though, for the Reds. Now the short ball goes out the back to nobody. The Lions pick it up. Gibson-Park Counter-attack is on down this left edge, but the pass to Vandermerwe went too early. He flings it back in field for Daly, who keeps the ball alive for Porter. 7 minutes to go to the break, and they're loving this left edge. Vandermerwe bumps off one. Dances around before he straightens again. Carries inside the 22. Gibson-Park firing it out now to Conan. The Barbarian lays it back. Double pump from Russell to Aki. The short ball to Stewart, who was not expecting it, is lost forward. It's intercepted by Tommy Freeman. But a scrum for the Reds as advantage was not played. And scrappy again from the Lions. Bundyaki with the short ball. Stewart couldn't hold on. The Reds defense stands up again. E.B. Williams says, do the Lions play an international team next week onwards? So I believe they've got the Waratahs coming up on Saturday. But from next week, I think you're right, yes. They've got the Waratahs Saturday the 5th of July. The Brumbies next Wednesday. But we'll obviously be doing State of Origin. Australia and the Lions' first test is the 19th of July, so still a couple of weeks away. Free kick here at scrum time to the Lions. 5 minutes to go till the break. So there you go, still a couple of weeks away. E.B. Williams for the first test. They tap and go quickly. Morgan in midfield. Back for Gibson-Park. Russell thinks about throwing the long ball left. Just hands it off to Stewart, who holds on to it this time. A sarcastic round of applause for him. Draw and pass down the left edge for the Lions. That pop it up for Vandermerwe, who scores in the corner. Tick number 2 off the multi. Vandermerwe with his first try of the night. My man Duhan. Lions extend their lead. 19-12, kick to come. Simple draw and pass down that short side. It was a little too easy. It all happened so quickly, and it was all a little too easy. We almost missed it. But no way was I going to miss my second tick off the multi. Approaching the halftime break. Finn Russell with his most difficult kick of the night. From the sideline. Puts it on target. Finn Russell, 3 from 3. And the Lions are up 21-12 as we approach the halftime break. But still, I mean, just think about it. They've done this not looking convincing whatsoever. It really has been a scrappy old game from the Lions. The Reds slow to get this back underway. Sending it deep into the 22. The Lions let it bounce. This is going to sit up in the end goal. Oh, just beating the diving Lockie Anderson into touch. Well, he's claiming it, Lockie Anderson, so they'll have a look. They have let the ball bounce. Miscommunication from the restart. They're going to have a look. Seen it live. It appeared to beat Lockie Anderson into touch. It's hit the corner flag. The corner flag can surely not be play on. They've gone long with the restart, the Reds. Gibson-Park has let it go over his head. And that is no try. He has not grounded this, Lockie Anderson. Telling fibs. Typical wingers. Telling porcupines. He has not grounded this whatsoever. It's surely gone dead in goal as well. There, it's hit the dead ball line. No try. Coming all the way back to halfway as it's been knocked on over the dead ball line. Scrum down on the halfway line for the Lions. So there we go. It's been reviewed. That's a nice little result for the tourists. Three minutes to go till the break. 21-12. But plenty to work on for this Lions team as they seek out their best combinations. And as we just found out, they've still got a couple of weeks before they need to lock down their starting 15. But plenty to work on for a lot of players as this scrum goes down on halfway. Big shove here from the Lions, and they get the advantage. Down this near side, Finn Russell, the cutout pass for Freeman, who steps away from his opposite and back in field. 40 out from the line now. Itoji in midfield, driven back in the tackle. Gibson-Park stays left. Stewart plays it back and down the short side again. Creeping forward another couple of meters. Back into midfield. Conan bumps off one. 40 from the line. Lions. Wrap around for Finn Russell. Creates space again down this right edge. Freeman with the kick and chase. Back in field is Gibson-Park. It sets up nicely for McLaughlin Phillips, though, and the Reds have it. The Reds have it 10 out from their own line. Great work, though, from Tommy Freeman. The box kick doesn't find touch. Russell to Van der Merwe in midfield. Straightens the attack. He's got Jones running with him. Cutout pass is lost by Ronan Kelleher. Well, what's he doing out there, the big fella? Even Van der Merwe can't believe it because it was his run, his counterattack that set up that opportunity on the left. But he's shaking his head. Why are we throwing cutout passes to hookers? What's he even doing out there? Another defensive scrum here from the Reds. Inside the last minute until the halftime break. 21-12, the Lions. But, yeah, I mean, the Reds have actually... Crazy to think about, but statistically, the Reds have sort of been on top. Or not on top. Can't say on top when a team's losing by 9 points, but they're leading some key stats, is what I'll say. Ahead in some key stats, including territory. And they get a free kick from the scrum here. To the Reds. So the Lions, even though they've been dominant at scrum time in terms of the power and the shove, getting that hit on. As the halftime siren sounds, the Reds thumping into touch. And the Lions, 21 points to 12. They will take the lead into the halftime break. What a bizarre first half it was. All things considering. Very, very bizarre first half. All right, Waste to Water Sports. I'm going to have myself a quick break for halftime as well. And then we'll pop back and dissect all that first half action. If this is your first time here, welcome along. Waste of Water Sports, alternative commentary for rugby union, rugby league, some cricket, and of course, we've introduced some wrestling as well and some Formula One. So if you're enjoying your time here hanging out with me, do feel free to drop a like and subscribe, because it really does help the channel out. Quick break for halftime, and we'll be back to have a chat about everything that happened in that opening 40 minutes, and specifically the fact we're halfway through this four-legger and feeling somewhat decent about it. I would have been feeling better if Itoje got a try in that first half, because we know that there's going to be plenty more opportunities for Van der Merwe and Freeman. But anyways, I digress. Halftime. We'll be right back. All right. So, Jason West, ahoy, mate. Listening in the UK. Very nice. Yeah. Well, for those in the UK, I have started doing the Six Nations every year as well. So, that'll be something to look forward to next time the Six Nations is on. It was done by request. But let me tell you, a Southern Hemisphere fan of the Six Nations tournament has been created. Really enjoyed calling the games, and it's really helped out, especially because we knew at the time the Lions Tour was announced, obviously, a long way in advance, and we knew the Lions Tour was coming up, so it was great to just get my head around that Six Nations tournament, see the players that would be participating in this Lions Tour, because a lot of the times in the past, like way before this channel existed, on Lions Tour, I've been a little bit clueless, shall we say, as to exactly what some of the players can bring. So covering the last Six Nations certainly helped with that. DJ Shack's popped in there. Ahoy, DJ Shack. How are you, mate? So, obviously, one of the big things I've been talking about is the crowd. Really impressive, I think, turnout for a Wednesday night in Brisbane. As somebody who used to put events on, I know that it's very, very difficult to get people to go out in Brisbane, especially on a Wednesday night. So they've pulled off a decent crowd here for this one. One of my predictions for Australia versus the British and Irish Lions series and New Zealand versus France. Well, the All Blacks should dispose of France pretty easily, because France have essentially sent over a development team on tour. They really haven't taken it seriously at all as a contest. They've treated it 100% as a development tour. So the All Blacks should win pretty comfortably. And the British and Irish Lions, well, it's hard to get a gauge of exactly where they're at the moment. We'll start to learn more as the tour carries on and we start to learn what their top combinations are. But, yeah, I mean, you would think just on paper, the Lions should win and should win quite handsomely. But we know the games aren't won on paper. We've seen that happen enough. Seb Watson says the Lions should put up 50 here. Well, they should. I wouldn't expect them to be this scrappy for the whole 80 minutes. They could be, but I wouldn't expect it. DJ Shaq says that tackle from Joe Bryle on Jamison Gibson-Park, you had your heart in your mouth. That's the one where, so this happened obviously in the first half, because that's the half that's just been gone. But Joe Bryle, if there's any professional wrestling fans in the chat room, because we do cover some pro wrestling here on the channel, but any pro wrestling fans in the chat room, just to explain this to you, if you might not have seen it, it was a power bomb. Essentially, Joe Bryle had poor little Jamison Gibson-Park up for a power bomb. Luckily, he didn't drop him like a power bomb. Let him back down to ground on his feet. Let him flip back over onto his feet. And away he went and carried along with the next ruck. But yeah, that could have been very nasty. Could have been very disastrous. Dan Jam. What did I think of the Australian Stadium announcer the other day? Can you be more specific, Dan Jam? My apologies, because I wasn't there at the ground. So, John Michael says, "Dear Dan, I'm very angry." Very sorry to hear that you're angry, John Michael. Michelle doesn't do rugby union, though. She doesn't like it. She'll be back, though. She'll be back. I'm just making assumptions. That's what you're angry about. Jared Hanlon says, I reckon the Reds will come back for the win here. Very, very bold call. I personally think the Lions will improve in the second half. I mean, obviously, for a lot of these players, not only is it their first hit out of the tour, their first time playing together in some cases. So I think they'll start to gel together, obviously, as this tour goes along, this game included. They'll start to gel together a little bit more. And, yeah, I expect that they'll run on. They'll run on with it. Okay, so there was a ground announcer apparently referring to the foreign-born players in the Lions as Aussies and Kiwis. Oh, okay. Yeah, not something that I heard about, to be honest. Yeah, right. So it made the news over there, Dan Jam. I would say, look, I didn't hear it, so I don't know anything about it. And I don't think it made the news here because I didn't see anything about it. It certainly didn't make any of the sports news platforms, which are the only ones that I pay attention to. So I didn't even know about it, so I can't really comment on it. I will say this, though. I will say this. Probably, I don't think there wasn't necessarily any newsworthiness to it. I don't think there was any ill will. I don't think it was a jab, or maybe it was a friendly jab, like a joking jocularity sort of left hook. But I don't think there was any ill intent necessarily behind it. I mean, the Lions are touring here. It's a big occasion. A Lions tour is a big occasion. You've got to expect that there will be a certain amount of non-rugby people who have come along just to check out the occasion. And I feel like that's the sort of thing just catering to those people who may not, we don't necessarily know all these players. But just so you know, well, here's a little bit of a background because you might, if they're Australian born, if they're Kiwi born, maybe they played some rugby over here in their earlier days. You don't know. Maybe you know the name. I don't think it should have been making the news. I think they're catering for casuals there just as much it was a little bit of a friendly sledge. John Michael, you ordered Domino's Pizza an hour ago for dinner, and there was a very glaring omission from your order. Well, that's no good. You've got to get straight onto those. Obviously, when you're talking about pizzas, the most glaring omission would be cheese. Can you imagine receiving a pizza with no cheese? I mean, unless you have some sort of health issue that doesn't allow you to have cheese. That'd be a pretty glaring oversight for me. Innocent Anglerfish, ahoy, mates. Yeah, so that's interesting, that whole announcer thing. I'd hear a thing about it. Wimbledon has started. Very nice. If tennis matches didn't go for so long, I might consider doing some tennis. Because I'm watching it anyway, so I may as well try and call it. The very glaring omission was 3 bottles of 1.25 litre Pepsi Max. Yeah, that's pretty glaring. It's funny, it happens here in Australia all the time. Just for those who might be joining us from overseas. It is amazing the number of times you do orders and they forget the drinks. So many times I've done orders through Uber Eats and whatnot, home delivery, and for whatever reason, they just forget the drinks. I don't understand why it's so difficult. Innocent Anglerfish, your daughter has burgers from McDonald's with patties and the bun. Your partner ordered a Boss Burger and Get Chicken Burger. Second half is about to get underway here. The Reds, can they hit back? The Lions, can they continue to hold on to this lead and perhaps even stretch it even further? It is the Reds who have the ball secured. Box kick incoming here from Thomas. Touched there from Itoji by the sounds of it. It does find touch. No, It's a Lions throw. All right, so halftime. We've got 2 out of the 4 ticks of the multi. Freeman and Van der Merwe. I need Itoje and Bundyaki. First line out throw of the second half, and it is the Lions who have it. Goes to the middle. The Reds compete. Bat the ball down. The Lions dive in over the top, but it's been lost forward. Scrum down. Reds feet. Line out's been a big issue for the Lions tonight. Big area for them to work on. Because you know that Maro Itoje is going to be one of the starters in the main squad. I mean, hands down. The Reds will have the feed. 30 out from their own line. It sets. Thomas feeds it in. The scrum is steady. And they release it into midfield. Paisami to Phillips out the back. And now looking for some space down the right edge. But the Lions defense slides across, forcing them back in field here. Uru lays it back. Low ball as Thomas looks left before he sends it right down the short side. Aki trying to rip that ball away. Unsuccessful. It's still there for the Reds. Uru is isolated. Itoshi's over the top, but can't get a clean steal. The box kick says, let's just get us out of this half, and the Lions can counter-attack here. Gibson-Park. 5 short of halfway. They set up the ruck. Who's gone into play scrum half? Jack Morgan, the number 7. Now Gibson-Park back on his feet. And that's a proper ruck and a box kick clearance. Chasing through to put pressure on, but it's an easy take of the back for Campbell. Campbell gets away from Van der Merwe, who seems to be running in second gear all night long. Just working his way into the tour, working his way into the contest. Uru gets away from the first tackle. A loose pass over the top is knocked on, and the Lions will get the scrum. Well, a more traditional pass might have been the option there. Big Settle Uru trying to get a little bit too fancy. And the Lions will get the line-out throw here. Knocked on by... Whoop, couldn't see who it was. Jock Campbell in back play, holding onto his head. He'll be fine. Wandering back. Still hasn't got it back into position. This scrum sets. Gibson-Park ready to feed. It's an early shove from the Lions. It collapses. Referee just says play on. Bollocks it. I'm done with the scrums, says the referee. Aki, dummies. Takes them on up the middle. Big leg drive from Bundyaki. 10 metres out here, the Lions. Gibson-Park dummies and goes straight through. Offloads back to Itoshi. Bounces over the line to score. It's tick number 3 off the multi. Maro Itoshi. Right beside the posts. Bounces over. Oh, 1 to go. Come on, Bundyaki. 1 more left. Maro Itoje. What a deserved try. And I don't just say that because he's in my multi. I say that because it is a bloody deserved try. He has been everywhere. And he's everywhere in every contest that he plays. 1 to go. Come on. Bundyaki. The late addition into the multi as well. I nearly stuck with a three-legger. A three-legger, we would have already had the W. (26-12) kick to come from right in front. And yes, just my multi aside, Maro Atoje, well-deserved try. Conversion successful, of course, from right in front. We're back off and running. Reds with the restart. Gibson-Park is the target again. No ruck is formed. He just heads in field and clears it over halfway. That's a hell of a kick. Tim Ryan thinks about going quickly, but decides to hold on to it, and the Reds have been immediately turned around into their own half. And what a start to the second 40 it's been for the Lions. Faessler with the throw. Uncontested at the front. Scrappy ball, though, is batted back, and the Lions pour through, put pressure on. Straight back to their feet and in over the top of this ball. Surely they've stolen this one away. No, it's still there for the Reds. Somehow, Thomas darts away from the base of the ruck. Very slippery run, but now he's a bit isolated. Does manage to get it back. A nice clean out by the Reds. I couldn't see what number it was, but hell of a clean out. And the Reds now get a penalty. High tackle against Will Stewart. Seven minutes gone in this second half. 28 points to 12. The Lions looking quite comfortable. See if the Reds can jag some points back here, though. 3 ticks off our same game multi. Bundyaki to go. And to the middle of the line out. Ball is secured here for the Reds. Phillips in midfield to Paisami. Driven back in the tackle. To the left edge again. Nice wraparound play. And well defended from the Lions in the end. Lockie Anderson can't get on the outside. Ross held up and driven back in the tackle. Big man on big man. Prop on prop. That's the sort of battle we like to see. A little flat-footed here, the Reds attack, but Phillips dummies. Makes half a break. Had nobody running with him. Campbell now takes them on. Back to the open side for Ross again. His second carry. And the Lions not committing at all to that ruck. Waiting for their moment. And I guarantee you that that moment will involve that man, Itoje. Paisami. Taken to ground here on this right edge. Nice little pop pass back in field for Bryant, but it's well read by the Lions defense. They've gone nowhere here, the Reds, after 10 phases. As Uru sets it up in midfield. Campbell, dummies, tries to put on a goose step, tries to fight his way through the tackle. 14 phases, and they're still in exactly the same spot. Thomas now fires it out. Canham. Itoje trying to get involved there, but he's cleared out, taken out of play. I mean, perfectly legally, by the way, but 16 phases, still in the same spot. They do have advantage now, so the Lions' discipline has finally cracked. If the line itself doesn't crack, the discipline has. And Thomas just says, we'll have the penalty, thanks. We'll get ourselves a little further upfield. So 10 minutes gone in the second half. 28-12. The Lions over the Reds. Oh, and a String of changes. All kinds of changes here for the Lions. Kelleher's off. Cowan-Dickie's on. Porter's off. Gange's on. Stewart's off. Beelam's on. So that's the entire front row, essentially. Gibson-Park is off and Alex Mitchell's on. Finn Russell is off and Finn Smith is on. They're rolling out the changes. Our boy Bundyarki's still out there, though. That's the key. As the Reds line out is stolen by Atoje. Of course it is. Maro Atoje leading from the front. Plucks that line out away from the Reds. Mitchell to Smith. Finn Smith now to Archie. Beats one. Penalty advantage here for the Lions. Stewart with the short ball for Conan. Well defended by the Reds in midfield. Russell on the wraparound. Cut out pass. Creates space for Chesham. Chesham takes it up to halfway. Still penalty advantage. Quick hands here from the Lions and quick ruck ball. Jones in midfield from a standing start. Takes it up over halfway. Still advantage. They get in each other's way. We'll come back for the penalty. Lions knock on. But penalty advantage was being played. Slowing the play down now, the Lions. Happy to just take the tempo down a drop. Finn Smith finding touch. Oh, that's what the penalty's for. Shoulder charge. No arms at all in that tackle. Lions find touch. They can go on the attack and they can give it to Bundyaki. And we can have a win. Cowan-Dickie goes short to the front. Pops back for Cowan-Dickie. They're 10 meters out from the line now, the Lions. Mitchell tries to dig it out. Beelam driven back in the tackle. Still there, though. Conan in midfield. In front of the post now. Curry spills it out the side of the ruck, but it's a penalty to the Lions. The ball's come out illegally, has it? Over the top by the Reds. They need to roll away. Do they tap and go here, the Lions? It worked out for them the last time. Itoje just wants to slow it down a little bit here, and they're going to call a scrum. They're going to draw in the big men. The scrum has been called. Here come the Lions. Well, this is good. This opens up the backs. Where's Bundyaki? There he is. He's on the right side. Let's have a look. The Reds' defense is numbered up. Finn Smith and Bundyaki having a chat. Bundy, I think, has pointed out that man. That's the man I want to run at. Get me one-on-one. And I'll be through this gap. Ten meters out, right in front of the posts. Scrum resets. The Reds are still dominating possession and territory. Across the course of the entire match, that is. Scrum resets. Let's try again. It binds. 10 meters out. Sets. Big shove here from the Lions. Mitchell brings it out. Smith, the cutout pass for Aki, and it's been read well by the Reds defense. That was our boy. Inside it goes for Jack Morgan, and a big gap opens up, and the number 7 dives over. 33-12, kick to come. Oh, it was so nearly on there for our boy Bundyaki. Well read from the outside backs in the Reds defense. But it could only be one tackle. Jack Morgan dives through a huge gap. One-on-one tackle there from Tim Ryan on Bundyaki. That's painful for me. That's the last leg that I need, of course. $33-12, simple conversion here. Finn Smith taking over the kicking duties. On for Finn Russell. The Finn for Finn switch. And it's 35 points to 12. And that last leg now just eludes us again. Still, there's time left. Replacement for the Reds. Blake comes on for Ross. And 57 minutes gone. 35-12. Back underway. Itoje backing up for it, but it's gone well beyond him. As now space opens up for Vandermerwe. Inside ball intercepted by the Reds. And away comes Lockie Anderson. Well, they're going to play from everywhere now, the Lions. Itoje in over the top, steals it away. Mitchell digs it out, and it's that man again, Maro Itoje. He's just always involved. He doesn't have an off switch. Aki onto Jones there, who kicks through, sits up at the back for the Reds. They've turned them around. Aki in there, digging for the turnover. Bundy Aki's got the ball, and he's got the penalty. Holding on is the call against the Reds. They'll put this one into the corner. Oh, Bundyaki, he's down getting some treatment. Well, that's not good. I don't want to see that. Come on, mate. You're tough. You'll be all good. Up you get, son. Line. Oh, yep, he's up. Sweet. Line out. 10 meters out here for the Lions. Uncontested. It goes to Itoje. And they bring it off the back of the maul immediately. For Tommy Freeman to set it up in midfield. Cutout pass is loose. It's out the back. Finn Smith scrambles back for it. Still there for the Lions. Tackler must release. Mitchell. To the left edge they go. Conan sets it up. Staying down the short side for Freeman. No way through there. So back into midfield they go. For Cowan Dickey. Still 22 meters out. Smith out the back for Jones. Cut out pass for Aki. Aki gets on the outside. Flick pass. And almost over for another one there. Jack Morgan. 2 meters out from the line, hit the Lions. The ball trapped in the ruck. Mitchell now digs it out. Sends it into midfield. And a nice step off the left boot there from Ganj. 5 meters out. Lions starting to bring things together. A meter short. Uru needs to release and does. Jones with the in and away. He's dumped on his back. Well defended by the Reds. Mitchell stays down the short side for Freeman to reach out and get another one. Tommy Freeman, share it around, mate. Share that ball around. Well, he's bagged another one here, Tommy Freeman. Perhaps I should have had him for a double. 2 tries tonight. 60 minutes gone. The Lions have brought up 40. Oh, 50 is probably conservative. A conservative prediction for their final score. Kick to come from out wide. And it's Tommy Freeman with another. Oh, John Michael, you've got pepperoni all over your phone. Ah, well, I guarantee you that it's worth it. Guaranteed. As the Lions are up 42 points to 12 now. Itoje claims the restart because, of course, he does. The beast machine, Maro Itoje. But they've managed to keep it up off the ground here, the Reds, and they've earned the scrum. Keeping the ball up off the ground. And a nice little turnover for them. So the thing is, we were talking about the best bookmakers in Australia for rugby union same game multis. The only problem is they don't offer cash outs. That's the problem. You get way better odds as well. But yeah, they're not as forthcoming with the cash out offers over here. I've noticed. Cash out's not even an option for any of the try scoring markets for this one. And a free kick to the Reds at scrum time again. They immediately tap it. Wrap around in midfield. Phillips, the double pump. Campbell bumps away from one. Gets it back to Phillips. And it's well read. And who's this with an issue? One of the Lions favouring a shoulder in back play as Urul forces the pass. And it's gone into touch for a Lions throw. Now, one of the Lions, here he is. Oh, that's an elbow or a shoulder. And a big issue. By the looks of it, he is in immense pain in back play. Goes in to make the tackle, Elliot Daly. Immediately repels away from that attempted tackle, clutching the arm. Certainly wasn't a whole lot in it, but he is in a world of hurt down in back play. Elliot Daly with the trainers. Yeah, the NRL, we cover the NRL every weekend here on the Waste of World of Sports as well. So, yeah, for those who might be new, joining the channel tonight, whichever platform you're joining us on, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, TikTok, do feel free, if you've enjoyed hanging out with me here tonight so far, to like and subscribe. But yes, we do the NRL every weekend as well, and they are much more forthcoming with cash out opportunities. We don't get very many four-leggers hit, especially this season in the NRL. But we have done some damage on cash outs. But not that it matters. I was always going to let this one ride anyway. It was just a cheeky little tenner as the Lions fire it in over the top. And Aki breaks straight through, but he slips. Oh, could he have gone the distance there, Bundy Aki? Gets his first clean line break of the night, but then he falls on his face. And the Reds secure the penalty. Zero Uru in over the top. Ball carrier holding on. Macaulay Hughes. Unfortunately, you're working right now in Wales, so thought you'd drop in and listen. Well, welcome along, Macaulay. It is one-way traffic here now for the Lions, but it is the Reds on the attack. The rolling maul is set, securing the line out in the middle. And who's got it at the back there? Josh Nasser. Oh, somebody's had their pants ripped down. Connor Vest. Well, we didn't see his vest. We saw his cheeks. 10 meters out, 5 out from the line now. The Reds intercept by, yes, you guessed it, Maro Itoje. Give that man the Man of the Match award already. I don't even care what happens for the next 16 minutes. Give that man the Man of the Match. And now it's been plucked away from the air by Hugh Jones. And Hugh Jones heads for the corner. Anderson tracking him down. Does he have the pace? No, he doesn't. Hugh Jones in the corner. The Lions have got another one. The Reds went for a cheeky little chip and chase. Hugh Jones has just said, thank you very much. Plucks it out of the air. And he had just enough pace to beat the Reds chasers. 47-12 with the kick to come. But it all goes back to that intercept. 5 out from their own line. Maro Itoje. Of course it was Maro Itoje. Man of the match, hands down for mine. What a beast. 47-12, kick to come. There is, of course, still 15 minutes to go in this game, or 14 by the time this kick happens. Finn Smith from the sideline. It's a shocker. Oh, it's a shocker. Finn Smith hooking it horribly. Greg McIntosh, reigning in Scotland, sitting in your van. Big up Hunters Tarring squad as the Reds get us back underway. And I'll tell you what, there's actually a cyclone bomb here in Australia at the moment on the East Coast. It's a little bit further south than me. Well, a lot further south than where I am. But we are copping the winds. We're copping the tailwind from it. Polo Lu Kama waking up at 4:30 a.m. here in California. Goodness, Reds. And it is the Reds with the ball just short of halfway. Wrap around at the base of the ruck and almost into touch. Wershon. Back in field for Bryant. 67.5 gone. The Reds get a penalty. Tackled off the ball. 10 short of halfway, this penalty is. So can they bag some consolation points here, the Reds? Perhaps. It's about all they've really got to play for, isn't it? To be honest. Lee Underwood. Thanks for the commentary. Listening in Turkey. Oh, very nice. I also have a gaming channel, and I've got a very big fan from Turkey. As the Reds take this line out, keeping it down the short side. And now kicking through, and it's straight into touch. Well, it was a poor option. A poor option, really. I mean, they've got to throw caution to the wind here, the Reds, and that's not going to help. Waikato Maori on TikTok. Not TikTok, sorry, Twitch. Logan City boy, are you? Wow. Represent. Blacks Creek Ripon. Throw into line out. Etoje bats it down and back for Finn Smith. Puts this kick up. Ball is batted down and it's still there for the Lions. The council did, yes, they tore down my road, Hamish McKenzie, but now I've got a nice new road. As the Reds counter-attack, here's Anderson stepping back in field. Lockie Anderson taken down. The Reds just not able to penetrate the line, though. Through the hands and out the back for Campbell. Well read by the Lions defense, though. In over the top and isolated of the Reds, but nice clean out. Ryan Smith does well. Keeping hold of the ball. 70 minutes gone. Driven back in the tackle. Through the hands and space now. Seru Uru down the right edge. Gets the pass away for Anderson, who's bumped into touch by Mitchell. Well defended there by the Lions. Waikato Maori. I'm obviously not going to give away too much in regards to my location, but let's just say IKEA is well and truly in my vicinity. DJ Shack, the Lions defense is just too good. And it is so far. As Etoje brings down the line out. The rolling maul is set. Lions. It breaks away and starts to go backwards. Finn Smith scoops this one up. And the clearing kick is made. Reds have got it back on their 22. Picked up and driven backwards by the Lions defense. Etoje again in over the top. Hands on the ball, but it's still there for the Reds. Clearing kick is made by McLaughlin Phillips. Lions with the counter attack. Smith, though, decides to plug this into the corner and sends it dead in goal. Will come all the way back for the scrum. Well, to be honest, I was always going to let this ride out anyway, but it is disappointing that Neds don't do cash out offers on the rugby games. I would have been interested at least to know what they would have given me. Bundyaki is off the field from the 66 minutes. But hey, I've got 3 of the 4 legs. So we do get the stake back as a bonus bet. 46,435. I was talking about the crowd earlier. And for Brisbane on a Wednesday night, that's a hell of a turnout. I'm not going to lie. I was having a chat to a mate who is hates rugby union. Hates it. Big NRL fan, but hates the rugby union. Wishes death upon the sport in this country for whatever reason. And, yeah, he reckoned nobody was going to come out for it. 46,500 people. I think that Rugby Australia will be very, very happy with that. Tanjam says, are you in the betting department in IKEA? No, if I'm anywhere in IKEA, I can guarantee you it's in the food department. Having the Swedish meatballs and the dollar hot dogs that aren't $1 anymore. I think they've upped the price. They're probably like $2 or $3 these days. That's the only reason I would go there. Are they $3.50 now? Holy hell. Wow. Well, I remember when they used to be 50 cents. Penalty now to the Reds. Scrum time. Front row collapses. 7 minutes left to go. Can the Lions crack 50? It was looking at one point where 50 was a conservative score. Oh, they've not found touch. The Reds have not found touch from the penalty. And Van der Merwe brings it back to the 22. DJ Shack says the Waratahs versus the Lions is expected to be a sellout. That's awesome. Yeah, Waratahs Lions, Saturday nights. All the action here on the Waste to World of Sports. Well, me talking about all the action anyway. Mitchell with the box kick. Sends it up. Contestable ball. Batted back by Van der Merwe. And it's there for the Lions. Mitchell gets a second kick away. Sends it up over halfway. Tracking back and making a mess of it is Tim Ryan, who now returns serve. Taken inside the 22 by that man, Tommy Freeman. The Reds through Phillips now, sending it to Paisami. Paisami, the flick pass, gives Anderson some space. Anderson with the chip and chase, and it's out on the full. Talk about anticlimactic. They've had their chances, the Reds. They've just lacked in execution at some key times. That was another example, needing that ball to stay in play. Biggest crowd ever expected at Allianz Stadium. Well, that is awesome. I'll tell you what, if they pull that off, that's fantastic. Lions throw to the front of the line out. Cue of the ball. Was it straight? Doesn't matter. We've got a penalty. Penalty to the Lions. So they've got 5 minutes now to try and hit that 50. Tackling the player in the air. And, yeah, not a whole lot in it, but, I mean, them's the rules, right? So, Lions find touch inside the Reds' half, well and truly. Throw goes to the back of the line out. Mitchell has it. Ben Smith looks inside, goes outside. Mitchell gets disrupted service. The Reds try to steal it, and it's knocked on by the Lions. And with 4 minutes to go in this game, I think everybody's kind of... I think everyone out there is like, yeah. Let's just get to the 80 minutes ASAP, shall we? Up the mighty Lions. Says Waikato Maori on Twitch. Dan Jam says it's a shame the Lions start so slowly. But in fairness, Dan Jam, I think that will only improve as the tour goes on. New combinations, a lot of players, this is their first hit out. Hamish McKenzie says the Trinder Park bus starts at 6 a.m. Who the hell thought a bus in this area at this time was a good sounding idea? People that have to get to bloody work, I suppose. I mean, lucky for me, I work from home, so I don't have to get up and get the bus starting at 6 a.m., but there would be people that need it, absolutely. When I was living in Kelvin Grove in the city, buses started from like 4 a.m. there, even earlier. So there will be people that need it. Itoje steals the line out. Backs it back for the Lions. 2.5 minutes to go. 47-12. Can they get the 50? Mitchell sends the box kick up. Chasing through. Well taken at the back there by Lockie Anderson. Reds ball in midfield. Lions defending well. DJ Shack, I believe it was, who brought up that the Lions haven't conceded in the second half. I dare say they're looking to keep it that way, and they now get a penalty. The Reds holding on. Well, a 3-pointer would take them to 50 if that is any sort of little milestone for them to think about. With a minute and a half to go, a shot at goal would give them the 50. They're putting it into the corner. They don't care. The 50 doesn't mean that much to them. They want to have some plays. It's the sort of thing I would have done, though, in a video game. Take the 3, get the 50 points. They might get it. They might get it anyway, of course. They may end up getting it. Rab Higgins says, mate, you're 100% more informative and entertaining than the tubes over at Kickoff. I don't know what that is. Sorry, is that another channel? As the Lions take the line out, rolling maul is set. Atoje leading the way. 10 meters out, still crawling forward. Now they release it. Mitchell with a loose pass. Bounces up nicely on the edge for Van der Merwe, though. Lays it back inside. And the ball's ripped away by Paisami. Paisami, one of Queensland's best tonight. Now he makes a line break. Has support running with him. Pops the pass up. The Lions scramble. And Morgan gets the turnover straight back. Penalty to the Lions. Jack Morgan take a bow. He tracked that ball all the way from 10 meters out from the Reds line when Paisami took the ball, tracked it all the way back, and ultimately wins the turnover. Finn Smith into touch again. 5 meters out from the line. All these new games coming out, and here I am still playing Jonah Lomu Rugby on the PS1. Cowan Dickey throws uncontested to the middle. Atoje brings it down. And the maul is set once more for the Lions, looking for 50, looking for another try. Mitchell's got it at the back. They're 5 meters out. 2 meters out now. They break away, but the Reds' defense drives them backwards. Atoje goes in for it, but Mitchell picks it up. Dummies. And the scrum half decided he was going to have a crack. The pick and go from Beelum. Penalty advantage. Held up over the line, but we come back for the penalty. So it's still play on. Offsides against the Reds. They tap and go. Cowan Dickey tries to burrow under. They're a meter out, the Lions. Atoje waits for it at the back. But it's Gensch with the pick and go. Atoje there to help him clean out. Now they've got space out to the right. And that's where they go. Mitchell, the wraparound for Smith, is knocked down by the Reds. That'll be the end of the game. 47 points to 12 as the knock-on is called. And they're looking for... It seems like they're looking for any reason to keep this game going, and why not? But I dare say this will be the end of the game. As Finn Smith on the wraparound. It was battered down by the Reds. Now, well, the only thing is this in a deliberate knockdown. A deliberate knockdown would make it a penalty, which would keep the game going on. Keep it going. Keep it going. Penalty to the Lions right out in front. Yes, it's still going. I'm excited. I've got another beer to finish, so we don't want the game to end before I finish my beer. They have kept it going. Ten meters out, right in front of the post, the Lions with the scrum feet. Can they get their 50 points? I'll tell you what. I wonder who came on for Ben Earl, probably, maybe. Ben Earl potentially came on for Bundyaki. If he gets the try, I'll be furious. Mitchell to Smith, cut out pass, and standing out there on the right-hand edge is Ringrose. And Gary Ringrose will score and get the 50 for the Lions. His second try of the tour. And 50 is up for the Lions. 52 points to 12. One-way traffic in the second half, which we kind of expected. We did sort of expect that to be the case. Smith with the conversion attempt. Sends it on target, and it's away. 52 points to 12 it remains. Now the referee blows his whistle for full time. Man of the match, Maro Itoje. Surely. And he looks like he's still got some running left in him. DJ Shaq saying that Maro Itoje would play till the 100th minute if he had to. And there he is at the end of, what did they play? Almost 85 minutes, I think, in the end. He looks like he's still full of running. But 52 points to 12. The Lions have got the job done. DJ Shaq says Itoje, man of the match. But massive honorable mention to Jack Morgan. I would agree with that. Jack Morgan had an immense second half, especially. I mean, just that moment before full time where he was tracking back and won the turnover. Like Paisami, speaking of man of the match for Queensland, Hunter Paisami, I think, pretty much hands down, right? Looked threatening every time he run the ball. Dan Jam says Morgan got man of the match. Okay. Jack Morgan announced as man of the match. Well, that's fair. I would have given it to Maro Itoje, but yeah, Jack Morgan was equally as immense. Also got himself a try. And he was just everywhere. Instrumental in turnovers. He was also floating out on the wing. He was there to back up Bundyaki on one occasion there. Didn't get the try on that occasion, but Dan Jam says they need to give the sole Welshman something. That a little conspiracy theory? I love a good conspiracy theory. Ah, bloody hell. The boys and their one-leg multi-misses, huh? Unbelievable. Wasted World of Sports. We do this all the time. We do this every week. Alternative commentary and watch-alongs for all your favorite your favorite sports. I do rugby union. I do rugby league. We even have started doing some pro wrestling. And I do my Formula One as well. And, of course, the Big Bash cricket. When there's nothing else to do, we also do some Big Bash cricket at the end of the footy season. So, plenty of stuff coming up for the rest of this week. If you've enjoyed hanging out with me here tonight, do feel free to give me a like and a subscribe on YouTube or a follow on Twitch, a like and follow on Facebook, and whatever it is on whatever social media platform that you've elected to join me from here. I very much appreciate your company. So we've got some stuff coming up, of course. Now, State of Origin's coming up, so there's no Thursday night footy in the NRL this week, but we will be back Friday. The Bulldogs take on the Broncos. Now, that is, it still should be a good game, but it has taken away from the blockbuster that it should have been because of the players that are out for State of Origin. That's the only problem. It should still be a good game, though, and I'm looking forward to it. Friday night footy. And then Saturday, of course, we will be turning our attention exclusively to rugby union because we've got the first test between the All Blacks and France. And then immediately following that, we've got the British and Irish Lions in their third tour match taking on the New South Wales Waratahs. So, Friday, Bulldogs, Broncos. Saturday, all rugby union. All Blacks, our first look at them for the season. And the Lions tour continues. Thank you so much, Wasted World of Sports crew. I appreciate your company as always. And I will catch you guys in a couple of days. Oh, excuse me. Bulldogs, Broncos. Coming up next. Thank you so much for hanging out tonight. Logan City represent. It's actually it's crazy. It's crazy how, I don't know, it must be some algorithm-based thing, right? I mean, I encounter far too many fellow Logan City people on these streams for it to be coincidental. I think it must be algorithm-based, distance sort of thing. But anyway, I digress. Who wants to talk about Logan City? Not even people that live in Logan City want to talk about Logan City. And Hamish, yes, I will. Yeah, I'll grab you that DLC. That's absolutely fine, mate. Friday night, Bulldogs, Broncos. Saturday, All Blacks, France. And the Lions tour continues. Thank you so much. Cheers.